Welcome, everyone, to our show. Today, we are joined by a very special guest, my lovely wife.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, handsome husband.
So, tonight's show is not about a specific box, rather all the boxes. I wanted to invite Laura to get her ideas or her opinions on what the boxes are hidden in, if they are, because this is a question we all ask. We all wonder, did Jon-Collins Black hide these boxes bare in the weather, in the elements, or did he place them in some kind of container? And if so, which kind of container? Because that's going to lead us to more unanswered questions. So I'll start off by saying that at first, I was naive and I thought these boxes are just hidden, just like he said. But he then went on to say that he took great care to ensure these works of art will not get ruined, because some of these boxes could be worth just as much as the treasures they hold. So, Laura, what do you think about this?
Yeah, so I think this is a really great topic. If I'm not mistaken, we got this question from a viewer. It came in and re-sparked the conversation between us that we've talked about before, about how exactly are they situated, I think, in terms of the box itself outside. I remember walking along a part of the Appalachian Trail with you, and that was the first time I think you and I had talked about that idea and that concept. And then the more that I've started reading the book and about the boxes, I mean, some, if not all, I know at least some have like a puzzle component to them, right? Like the Asian boxes. And so if you wanted that to continue to work, even if the box were out in the elements for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, however long it takes for the box to be discovered, it has to be sealed or enclosed in something, right? You can't presume that a metal box out in the elements that has a puzzle or a lock component would be okay, even after a short period of time. So they have to be enclosed in something. But what they're enclosed in is, I think, an interesting question.
Yeah, because when I talked to Dave Colonna from American Treasure Podcast, I asked him this, and he sort of said he didn't remember. And then he said that he believes that he did ask him and they talked about it. And possibly on the next episode that he releases, maybe we'll know. We do know after the first box is found, we're going to know. So it can't be that big of a secret. But why make it a secret anyway? Is it because the just the whole allure of it, because it's the treasure and things like that? Or do you think there's a reason why he isn't telling us? And could that reason be because it could possibly lead us to the box easier?
Potentially. I think, well, I'm not sure what the box could be placed within that would make it easier to find it. I mean, unless it's in like some bright orange, hunter's orange box that, it's not going to make it easier to find it. But I do think what he hid it in could inform kind of the actual placement of the box within the landscape, right? Like, if it's just in a heavy duty plastic bag, then you probably are going to want more protection for it than that. So you might be more inclined to nestle it in with some like rocks in like a rocky wall outcropping or something. But if it's in like a heavy duty, like plastic suitcasey kind of, I know you have a name for that kind of
Those
thing.
Pelican boxes, like my drone is in. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If it's in that, then it's a lot more resilient to be almost anywhere. I mean, it could be tucked underneath shrubs. It could be, it could be down kind of near water and maybe have a little more resilience to fluctuations in temperature and humidity and being covered up by debris, leaves and twigs. So I think that I don't know that what the boxes could be encased in would make them easier to find, other than it might slightly inform where you're looking when you're actually near a box. I don't know.
Do you think I've heard some talk about, and this goes across both Justin Posey's hunt and JCB's, because Justin Posey also doesn't say what kind of container his is in, that it could be possibly a hollowed out looking rock or something like that. Something that, not necessarily as cheesy as the things you see at the Home Depot. And by the way, we're not sponsored by the Home Depot.
It's this big plastic rock with a little slider door, like you put your hidden key in, and there's this treasure in there. That would be awesome.
And then the reason why I asked this, because something like that anything would have to be bigger in the box, but we can all pretty much well agree upon that at least the smaller boxes can fit in the palm of someone's hand, because I saw this on Seth Gould's Instagram when he had the Pokemon box before he put the inlays in it. He literally had it in the palm of his hand, and depending on the size of his hand, even if it was in my hand, say for the sake of argument, it can't be much more than 6 inches long, or maybe 7 inches long, and and obviously it's not going to be as tall either, and probably the same width as it is the height. So I'm ballparking here, probably 6.5, 7 inch by 4.5 to 5 inch by 4.5 and 5 inch, to get a good idea of that. It's not that big.
Like it could literally, and what random thing is on my desk that
the
could
width, the
theoretically
lengthwise, right?
Be that size.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think in my mind, I always have them so much bigger. Like I have them like this.
Just like Jackie Onassis' brooch. I always thought the thing was huge, and I looked at it on another picture, and the thing's small. But that leads me to another question of, we just finished the chapter on Amelia Earhart's autographed picture. With your art background, would you be able to, well, obviously it wouldn't be folded up inside the box because it's
right.
Small.
No, but a photograph from that time period, I mean, it could be like an 8x10 size, or it could be small. It could be like just a small photograph, but any way you cut it, you would not put something of that historic value in something that could potentially be compromised by humidity.
Would
really, for many of these things.
Would a box, because we also have Thoreau's journal, at least pages.
Right.
Would that, the box, the Pelican box that my drone is in, would you think that would be enough to protect, with a humidity dehumidifying pack in there, a picture of that significance for an extended period of time?
Right. Right. I mean, he would have to have, I think that he is a person of such care and thoughtfulness and knowledge to recognize that he needed to plan for the security of the items that he was hiding, that he wasn't, I don't think he would have thrown them out there in a risky situation. So could you have, maybe a specially made Pelican box? I mean, like, he didn't just go somewhere and pick it off the shelf, right? He had one made for it that was intended to be sealed, to be waterproof. And I mean, I think you could. That would sure make me nervous. It makes me nervous right now. Maybe he should just tell us where the boxes are and we can go retrieve them so we can make sure everything's safe.
I'll do my best to reach out to him to do that, but I highly doubt he'll tell me. So, which leaves open a question of, is all the treasures in the boxes? He says these boxes are proxies. They're full of treasure, but he doesn't say they're full of all treasure, which I don't think anybody's asked him.
Yeah, I really think they are. I mean, I think that that's just a conspiracy theorist kind of direction to go. Oh, there's nothing in the
Right. No,
boxes
I
except for a
agree as
note about how
well.
to contact him, or there's, proxy items in the box, or, what, no, or he never even had any, treasure and it's all a joke and a
Right,
scam.
right,
No, no,
right. Now,
no.
now, but
I
does
refuse to believe that.
do you believe that Thoreau's journal and Amelia Earhart's picture is in along
I
with the
do.
treasure?
I do, but I think he would have had to prepare for securing a paper item, which is really prone to degradation with humidity.
Well, we all saw the movie National Treasure, where they secured the Constitution in that container,
The
right?
Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That was in a bulletproof, right? And I'm sure
Well,
that
yeah.
was sealed as well.
Well, if you remember, that was fiction.
Yes, perhaps. But anyway, so the box is another important thing to think about on how the box what container is where it's going to be located.
Sure.
If let's say for the sake of argument, it is in like a Pelican type box, a briefcase, because that to me seems the most logical approach. Maybe it could be a custom made one or a custom container, possibly with a handle on it.
Yeah.
Um, he says not to go out in the snow. You won't be able to find if there's snow on the ground. He doesn't say how much snow, obviously. And now part of it, I think he's doing is just being smart and telling people don't go in the wintertime because it's more riskier, right? If you're stranded or fall or slip on ice and things like that.
Yeah.
If it is in a specific type of container, especially that type of container, it would be harder, I think, to conceal it because if it's like a briefcase, you're going to have to balance it, right? Unless you put it under something. If you put it under a lot of rocks, you risk somebody getting hurt moving rocks because they are heavy.
Yeah.
And as you know, when we went on the Appalachian Trail, it can be pretty dangerous too. There could be snakes hiding there. They like to hide in rocks and things like that. Do you think that plays a role also in how?
Yeah. So I was just thinking about like with the snow issue, we know that snow being on the ground would not be a good time because he said it and just because of pure logic. Not a great time to go out and look for the boxes. So then I was wondering, like, is there a best time to look for the boxes? And I think the second least favorable after winter is probably fall is not a great time because that's when you're losing all the leaves and they're piling up on the ground. And so if the boxes are concealed somewhere, on or near the ground, then it's going to be covered by all the leaves that have just fallen in many climates. Not every climate is like that but I'm thinking specifically maybe Appalachian Trail. So that's not an ideal time. But I wonder if like springtime is a good time because things aren't you don't yet have new leaves coming out, kind of starting to conceal things. You have more of this like blank slate. Yes, you have the dead leaves from last year, but they're maybe not as, they're more broken down than they were in the fall. So I think spring might be an ideal time to go out looking boots on the ground. But when we were hiking along on the Appalachian Trail and seeing all of these, like so many places where it could have been concealed and getting that adrenaline rush every time you'd be looking underneath, like, these big rock groupings and, the rock is like angled. And so there's this kind of niche or little nook where someone could have very easily put a box. And we're realizing we came ill-equipped to be kind of fishing down in, rock outcroppings and not risk being,
eaten by a snake.
Snake.
All my
Yeah,
safety training went out the window, and
it
I
did.
just
It
didn't
really
care.
did. I was like, what the heck are you doing? So yeah, yeah. I do think that that is like a potential kind of place that I do think within rocks makes a lot of sense. It makes more sense to me than like in a dead fallen log or underneath a tree root or something that
Yeah.
has more ability to biodegrade. I think that he would have chosen to hide them among something that is more stable and enduring and long lasting so as to not make it impossible to find the box. Like if you have nestled it underneath a tree root or in a fallen log, which are places that we were looking, right? That we were kind of, talking about, then if anything shifts within that landscape, the log collapses more or the tree falls or is cut down, something like that, then it could totally jeopardize and you would never find the box. So I think that he has chosen to hide them places where the ability to find the box can't be jeopardized by things that happen over time.
No, I
That was very
agree.
long-winded.
No, I agree, and it's important to note that because we're approaching the 1 year anniversary of the book release, and that the boxes could be have been hidden. We know at least a year before, possibly 2 years before.
Right.
So he has a level of confidence that he has chosen a method to secure these boxes or secure the items inside the box and the box itself. This will be very interesting when the first box is found and we find out what is, unless he does releases earlier, which
but what will we, or if and when the first box is found, will we know more, or will we only know more if that person chooses to come forward and share more?
Well, he did say once a box is found, he will release a solve to it. I don't see why. We don't know. I would hope that he would disclose that, but when he releases his solve, we can kind of get better ideas, and I think that those ideas will probably be just as important, if not more, than what he hit him in. And I really hope that somebody does. If they don't, I respect if somebody doesn't want to come public with it. That's understandable, but at least let us know. But
well,
let
to
us
our
know
listeners,
what kind of,
loyal listeners out there, if you find the box, we would love to have you come on our show and talk
that's
about
all we ask from
finding
you
the
too.
box.
I mean,
come on the show. We'll give you your moment.
We will give you your moment and we will celebrate with you. And that's really all we are asking. So if you do, we'd be very grateful hosts of our show and to have you on. So people out there, you find it, please come on our show.
Come on over. We'll have you. We'll host dinner and everything. We'll have a dinner party.
We'll invite you to our home, and I will make barbecue for you.
Yes.
If that's what you like.
So I was thinking a moment ago about, because you were talking about him hiding the box. Maybe it was a little over a year ago. Maybe it was 2 years ago. We're not quite sure how long it took him to actually put everything out in place. And I think I recall you talking one point about how heavy it was to get the treasure boxes.
Well, the treasure box, when I was talking about the lion's share that we all
the lion's share.
To.
Okay.
He made them in 2 trips. He specifically said this on an interview with Dave Colonna. He said that he made 2 trips, one for the box and the second with the treasure.
Wow. So it really was prohibitive, it sounds like, in terms of weight, to carry them both together.
Yeah. Well, the biggest one. Yeah.
The biggest for the.
And he said he had a very stable backpack.
Yes.
So we can then, we can only assume that he put the treasure in the backpack, and not maybe the case of it. the case, or if he did put them in a case, right? We don't know. We don't know what it is.
I don't know.
Now, you have to also think about he wanted to be discreet and not be seen. So
Yeah.
I would think that he also hid, if there were a container, the container as well, in case he did be, because you can't anticipate being seen or not, and you only get one shot. You can't just go, oops,
Right.
I'm just walking with this stuff.
Walking with this big black
Yeah,
case.
I don't plan on hiding anything. I don't know. I think if I happen to see someone on one of my treks out into the woods carrying a huge Pelican box and a backpack that's literally straining someone's back, I would remember it. I would remember seeing them. I probably wouldn't remember what they look like, but I sure as heck would remember seeing that. Because you think about it, some of these boxes have gold kilo bars in them. And I don't know if you've been keeping up with the price of gold. I know it was down a little bit today, but the other day it hit $4,000 an ounce. 2 years ago, it was under $2,000 an ounce. So this treasure just in Bitcoin, because we know there's at least one. I think there's two. There's at least one in one of the boxes, and the other one could be in another box or the same. It's over 120,000, and it wasn't like that a couple of years ago. It was like 30,000, 40,000.
Yeah,
I don't follow crypto.
I don't know, but all of it just boggles my mind. So one other thing I was wondering about is, I think recently you were telling me that he had said that someone was close or getting close, or some people that someone was getting close to solving one of the boxes, right?
Well, he said
Did you say that? Did I dream that?
No, there was. I know. I think it could have been what Justin Posey said or something, but he did say he was surprised one was not found yet. So people are assuming, how when you hear one thing and you want it to be something, they're like, well, he said somebody was really close to it or walked by it. It's like, no, I don't think that's exactly what he said, but he was surprised that nobody.
My brain just runs. Wouldn't it be interesting, like if you were him and you had like a camera on it, like this little mini camera, and you could see when people are walking past it, and you're like, oh man, they're so close. And you're just kind of waiting, watching.
It would be hard enough for me if I put this on. First, it would be hard enough for me to walk away from that kind of loot in the woods. But I guess if I had the money to buy it, it wouldn't be that big of a deal to me. But it would be hard. Put that aside. Let's assume that I have the ability to walk away from tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of precious metals and beautiful boxes and everything in the woods.
Yeah.
Put that aside for a second, and I wouldn't be able to keep it secret. You know me. Flowers, and I'm like, hey, did you get the mail today yet? You're like, gee, why? It's like, well, there may be something on the front porch. I can't do it. So I would do what John's doing. Honestly, I don't know how Justin Posey's doing it, but he's more active and being in the hunt. I would do what John was doing. I would hire somebody to handle all this stuff for me and only pop out once in a while. I don't even know if I would even do interviews. Not because I wouldn't want to, is because I don't think I could. Because you could read me like a children's book.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Like a Arthur book or something.
If roles were reversed and we were the ones hiding the treasure, I would need to hide it and not tell you where it was. That's what we
and you would need to hide. You need to not tell me you're hiding it, because I would every night be pawing at you like our dog with the puppy dog eyes and the floppy ears, going, "Where did you hide it?" You're like, "Shut up, Eric. Go to bed." I'm like, "No, I would be a wreck. I'm a wreck on things not even close to that."
Right. I know. So
that's what we wanted to talk about today, everybody. So I hope you enjoy it, and we will see you this Sunday. So
shoot us some comments with your ideas about how the boxes are hidden, and what they might be contained in. We'd love to hear your theories as well.
Yes. Thank you, and we'll see you Sunday.
Bye, everyone.